Hi all, this is a review of a couple of Aussie Kiwi trades I did today on the 12th of October 2018. So I think the story starts from over here on the daily, where on the daily I have congestion. Somebody is building up positions. At the moment I think it is buyers building positions because of this accumulation over here on the 4 hourly and then this move up, and this sell has come down and has failed to break the low, break this area. So I think buyers are putting up positions over here, especially given the relative location of where this is all happening and everything. So, but I'm not really thinking about the breakout of the daily range just yet. I'm just for this particular trade, all the action I think was surrounded by this key piece of information over here. That is, buyers on the 4 hourly building up positions, and they make a huge move up, big breakout up, and then this move down. For this move down, it was created by an hourly congestion. Hourly, so I can show that on the hourly sellers building up their positions. So, or rather I should say, because the sellers are not hourly or 4 hourly, the sellers are just sellers, I should say sellers building up their positions on an hourly scale, and again sellers building up their positions on an hourly scale. Whereas this move by the buyers was from a 4 hourly scale. So but the thing is, this 4 hourly scale of buyers was reacting at a daily area of resistance. So it makes sense that it did go down, but whether it would break this 4 hourly build up of buyers, that is less likely. This was my opinion. So I'm not too surprised that this 4 hourly move came down and did not go to go any lower, and that it is in fact reacting at this area. So going down to the hourly, how I saw the picture was I had marked again over here hourly congestion, but I've removed that mark now because this has been broken by this move up. I saw hourly congestion and again the sell for that hourly congestion, but that's where the sell move ended. There was not much else for this sell move. There's not much potential, extra potential for that, because all of this is happening right at the retest of this strong 4 hourly buyers build up plus breakout. So I think it makes sense then why the price reversed over here, and I got interested in the sell based on this congestion on the 15-minute, or it's even more clear on the 3-minute. I got interested for a few reasons, but I played this in a way that was not really in accordance with my trading plan, and so it met some of my criteria, but not all of my criteria in my trading plan. For example, the entry was definitely in scope. The entry was very nice to play. So this is what I was seeing for the entry. Very nice seller build up positions over here. So again, I was confident that it was a seller's building positions after I saw this move up by the buyers, so come down, and then buyers fail to break this high, make lower highs, and again so comes down. And I was thinking, let me see price, and especially because I have been guilty of taking trades right near the bottom when I think this is the breakout move, and that of course has been correct. My breakout move anticipations have been correct recently for the most part, but I could have just waited a little bit longer and gotten better entries if I had been a little bit more patient. So in this case I was a little bit more patient, and I thought, let me get a retest to this zone over here, especially since there is some sort of failure happening and buyers are building up positions. But if the buyers put up their position, they expect some move up, but because of the overall story, I expect a breakout down. So if a buyer builds up positions and reacts with some sign of failure around this area, so this is the logic, I required to see buyers build up positions over here, there, and then start to go up, and at the first signs of failure and reaction from this zone where sellers built up their positions, I would enter. So that's exactly what I did, and it turned out to be a pretty good entry, and price went down. Now, because of this logic that this was a smaller time frame scale of build up of positions happening right near the retest for 4 hourly blue graph of buyers, I was not too ambitious with my targets. I thought probably price can get to around here, and then the move up may start. So the trade was quite smooth, and I got out at this exit line because on the lower time frame I started to see some signs of sellers slowing down. And when I start to see some signs of sellers slowing down, especially at this location, I think that's not where my exit was. My exit was here. My exit was right there. So when I see some sign of sellers slowing down, I think, okay, buyers are putting up their positions. So I just got out over here. A little bit early, but that's okay. In line with the overall read. So the next thing I want to cover is what I saw. I was just casually watching this on the 1 minute now, but the entry over here was not, although the entry was in scope and everything, the reason it was not in accordance with my trading plan is I had not done my checks. That is, I had not checked for news, and I had not checked for correlations. So I had not done those two checks before taking the trade. I had not done all my scans of the pairs and everything, because I like to do that myself and pick my own pairs. So that's why I did not fall within the trading plan, which is not good. I should stick to my plan, but otherwise, technically, I think it was a good play. Now, I was watching this casually on the 1 minute, and I noticed that there's another congestion happening over here, and I was not sure whether it was sellers or buyers building up their positions. I was not sure at this point. At this point, I thought, okay, probably the buyers are going to move up. And when I saw this spike down, engines come back up, that's when I thought this may be the spike move down. And after the buyers cleanly took out this resistance, that's when I got in. But I got in with just the smallest lot size possible, because this was not an in-scope entry for me, I think, because this is based on a 1 minute congestion. And so I have a 1 minute margin of error, which is not what I will take for my new trading plan. So due to those reasons, and due to the fact that I was still very confident in this read and everything, I still took the smallest lot size trade. So that was that. Now, of course, there is an argument to be made for, hey, this is actually a 4 hourly trade because it's based on a 4 hourly retest. It's just a 1 minute entry. So there is an argument for that, but I still was not confident with the 1 minute margin of error. So I still just took, and I had not done all my other checks as well. I had not done my news check and my correlations check in my at this point either. So I just took it with the smallest lot size. Now that performed quite well, and during the trade I kept moving my stop below the one hourly congestions and breakouts of any 1 hourly congestion. Of course, I did not know, but I suspected that it would break out up because of the overall story that this is reacting from a H4, a 4 hourly breakout plus retest zone. So I was confident that this is probably going to go up. So that was my bias anyway. Now on this one, eventually price got to the point where price started to come down very sharply over here, and at this point I had my stops right over here. I had my stops right over here at this point, and I actually moved it all the way down to my initial position for these reasons. Number one, I know that price came down very sharply over here, but this move down was not based on any sort of congestion. Well, firstly, it was not based at a very logical area, or I thought, for example. Yeah, so this move down happened at the top of this range over here, if I count the wick. So I thought this may not be happening at an exactly logical area for a reversal, because this would be more of a logical area for a reversal, or if not a reversal, at least a deep pullback. So at that stage, it did not seem to be enough to really create a reversal, and it was too early for me to say this is a pullback that will be quite deep. I expected buyers to push it back and still give some fight, especially after they've made this huge move up. I expected some sort of build up of positions before any serious moves down happen. And so any move down, I thought, without any sort of build up of positions, I thought it would just be a pullback, it would be like a trap. So that's why I put my stop loss down, all the way back down, because I thought that was the most logical place for it, given the 15-minute picture. Given the 15-minute picture, I thought that was the most logical place for it. I have to give these buyers, I have to give this zone a chance, especially since this is being broken out. And if it goes down low, I may even have to give this zone a chance. So I just put it to my initial position. Maybe I would not have left it my initial position if price really tested deeply. Maybe I would have cut it around here. But I did not concern myself too much with that because it was too early. Now, once price started to consolidate a little bit more, then I felt more confident that, okay, this is actually congestion going on over here. Maybe for a breakout up, but maybe also for a breakout down. So at this point, I was more wary about leaving my stops all the way there, because I thought, okay, congestion has gone on for a while. It's more likely to do some genuine deeper pullback. Now, I did not expect that this congestion, I still do not expect that this congestion is the one to reverse this build up of positions by the buyers, because I see this is the origin of this big push up, because the scale of this congestion is much smaller than the scale of this congestion. However, the scale of this congestion I thought still had potential to come all the way down and even take my initial stop loss. So that's why I eventually decided to get out. Now on the 1 minute again, I saw an opportunity for an entry right here. Once I saw for adding my positions right here. Once I saw that over here there was some sort of breakout happening where price comes down slowly, stronger moves up, and on the 1 hour it looks pretty good. The move up looks significantly stronger than the move down, and especially after this congestion over here, which is like happening right on top of this small breakout. I thought this is probably going to break out, and I thought I got in right around there. Now with my stops around here. Now price came down, tested, that was okay. Build up of positions again, price went up. Now I should have gotten out here based on the logic that, hey, I know this is a 1 minute breakout and everything, that logic works, but this is happening. This is all happening within a 3 minute or a 5 minute congestion zone. A 3 minute or 5 minute congestion zone. So I should respect that 3 minute or 5 minute boundary, especially since on this scale the move up is not as strong. So I did not get out. I had my stops over here and they got hit. But eventually, due to this weaker move up and this strong move down, I thought probably the sellers are starting to kick in now and they'll start their pullback. So I got out right over here, which was a decent exit, I think. I saw that price was going up and starting to pause a bit too much over there, so I got out. And of course, we see now that the price has come down very nicely. So that's all. Thanks, and comments and questions are very much welcome.